Hi, welcome to our Facebook Live from Holly Ridge Center. Thank you for joining us today. Susana and myself, I'm Karen Bramer. We are both educators here at Holly Ridge. So I've been here just a little, 11 years. And just to let you know what an educator at Holly Ridge does is when someone has questions about their child's development, they call and we do some evaluations here at Holly Ridge. And then if we find out that an educator is recommended for the plan and the parent wants to do that, then we get to have the privilege of working with children across all developmental areas. We kind of have a general expertise in everything, and so we help with the learning skills. You can think of academics, but 0 to 3, that's not out there. But all the foundational things that help build toward that, we work on that. So.
And what you saw at the beginning, it says we are teaching through play. So is that our meaningful resource that we do everything through play and songs? So I'm working in Holly Ridge for 20 years, and I'm very happy to be, working with a community that is multilingual. And so I'm originally from Chile, and so my native language is Spanish. So I just I get those families that speak Spanish, and I can help them. So we get together with Karen weekly in our virtual group that we do like a back and forth in English and Spanish, and because it's not our meaning to teach Spanish. It's just support families and children where they at and what we can do.
Yeah, and we get to go into homes, and families sometimes come to the center, and we've been doing Zoom visits, but we're really happy that we get to be back in homes now. But the educators thought our families need more, and our families asked, what else do you have that could help between our visits? And so we've added a couple programs that we want to highlight today, and then Susana and I will share a little bit, ask some questions about speaking more than one language in the home, and then share a little bit about what we do on our virtual socialization playgroups. So have a little bit of slides for you to follow along here. And
hopefully enjoy it.
The slides are kind of boring. Yeah. So the first thing that we wanted to highlight was a web page that if you go to the Holly Ridge Center major website, then under the education or under the infant toddler program tab, you can find on the bottom, it says at home learning. So one thing we've done for, 2 years now is we've added information about
our curriculum, how we work, and kind of support, what the family wants to teach their children and have, creative activities and, play and do different things. Like we include recipes, we include links where you can go and have more resources for your own benefit.
Yeah. So I'm kind of stumbling over here because I can't see the slides, but I think I understand that maybe you get to see the slides. So for the virtual or for the at-home learning page, I'm looking at my notes now. Well, actually, if you're on the first slide, if that's where you're at, it talks both about the virtual socialization playgroups and at-home learning. So these are the goals that we came together and decided we wanted to do to help support our families. So just recognizing that teachers are the parents. Parents are number one. And so we come alongside and work with the parents as they help us learn about their child and then add things. And so we leave, and it's great to say, hey, you can look at the website. There's something else that you could do to extend what we did today. So it's across all developmental areas, and it's about daily routines. That's what we do all the time. And we really think it's important to try to keep up with the research-based strategies and certainly have fun. So the next slide, I think, says specifically about the at-home learning webpage, right? I'm picking that one. I'm pretending I know that one comes next. Wait, this says page 3, so I think this one comes next.
Yes, virtual socialization playgroup. Yes.
Oh, okay. So with the virtual socialization playgroups, it's fun because we're bringing families together virtually so they can learn from each other, and it's really fun for the kids, especially during COVID. They got to see their other peers, and so that was nice, and we keep doing that.
It's a good way how they can interact and engage, and they say, oh, there is another child that I have the same problem, or he doesn't attend, and so they can see each other, and they just can, okay, I can do this, I can follow this. This is fun.
Yeah. So they're about 25 minutes, give or take a few minutes, and we do them weekly. There's songs and finger plays, book readings, sign language,
arts and crafts.
And movement. And we just have a lot of fun. And then the exciting thing about that too is families have the opportunity to let us know, hey, could we do that together in the
or we just communicate with the families, like say, hey, get ready, we are going to talk about this, and if you want to, you can have like if it's Halloween costume, or what we're going to do, or working with colors, working with different teams that really wants, or body parts, because it's important, emotions, or so we can make faces.
We make faces at each other.
Yeah. Right.
So and that just reminded me of one student we had. We always have a hello song, and we always do it to start and greet people. And he would just cry as soon as we were done with the hello song. That's all he wanted. So for him, with that group, we always did the hello song twice, because we knew that would help him out to transition to our next activity. So we get feedback from parents. So I think the next slide then will tell you the website address. And wait a minute, it's not a website address for that. It's actually an email that you can contact Anne-Marie, and she will give you information and how to sign up. So I think we need to do a timeout as far as we love to be part of the community, and we want to be out there. But what we do have to reiterate that whereas the web page is available for anybody to access, the virtual socialization playgroups are for children that are in our program. So they supplement what we're doing. They're beyond therapies or beyond the education. So I have to remind you about that.
And they can talk with one of the providers. They wanted to get access, and so the point to be the communication to that provider, and then to Anne-Marie, who is another educator. So she is going to do all the registration kind of type. So we can say, oh, okay, we have an opening here. You can come and we will provide. There are two virtual groups right now, right? The Sing and Sign. And our virtual group, which is bilingual or dual language, which we said at the beginning is not. We go back and forth English and Spanish, and it depending on the needs of the group and or the the special child.
Yeah.
So
That's been really fun to do and different. Virtual language play group, a sing and sign play group, and then we're going to be starting up some general play groups. I think. I hope so. We took a little break during the summer.
Yeah.
So the next part is that at-home learning webpage that I started talking about, but want to talk again about that. You go to the Holly Ridge website, you go to the ITP tab, which means infant toddler program. You scroll down to at-home learning, and then it'll come up, and you can see that that address coming up on the screen. And on there, you're going to find 2 years worth there of theme-based ideas with books and songs and art and sensory, homemade toys and instruments, ideas for movement, a calendar, things you can do, one thing a day in November or things like that.
Yeah, it's a good way if you run out of ideas how to play with your child at home, you just go and check, because you can find different stuff there.
And that reminds me that we've done 2 years, but now we have a new kind of thrust to try to make sure the developmental information is on there to supplement ideas about sleeping or traveling or things like that. As well as the fun themed based things. And we also recognize another big thrust is to add things that show diversity and equity and culture, inclusion and accessibility. And that's something we're excited about, because we've been doing this dual language session, and now we're talking about how to expand and how to educate everybody and have things available. So but if you go to the website and say, oh, that's missing, we'll let you know. We think we don't have enough on there either. So that is something we're going to do, and really wanting to work on expanding and understanding each other's culture. So that's just the highlight piece of what we wanted to say. But now we wanted to just really tell you some focus on the idea of multilingual in the home, and how to learn when we're speaking more than one language in the home. And is that even a good idea? We don't have all the answers, and this is just kind of an idea. What did they say? It was a discussion. We're having coffee around the coffee table. And, so we want to bring together just what we know and what we've learned from our colleagues as well, to give some ideas.
Experience, how that we see what is the need, what the families want. They will tell us kind of, oh, we would like to have something like this, and then we just came out with some ideas. It's just like, I think we mentioned before that it's not Spanish group. It's just going back and forth English and Spanish. So they're supporting, when it's in the household, when the mom talk Spanish and dad is talking English, well, they wanted to be, I don't know what to do. So yeah, we are supporting those type of families too. And on the other hand, if you know about research, it's good for to know more one language. It helps your brain develop better.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. So how the brain is acting.
Yeah, for sure. We asked our coworkers, therapists and educators, what are some of the questions you get and what are some of the answers you tell your families? And so I just want to skim on that today and tell you a little bit about. And one of the questions was, how do we decide if we should speak multiple languages in our home? So when we were talking about it, we thought, it really comes down that it's the family to make that decision. We're not going to tell you one reason or another. They make it themselves. There's not really a right or wrong answer.
Yeah, I think it's just family desire, or and it's not a rule and wrong answer, but get the opportunity, like I said before, for the brain, for knowing more cultures, be aware, also to get in contact with, social skills. Oh, I wanted to communicate with this child that doesn't speak English or doesn't know. So yeah, kind of, it has a benefit. But you have to make a commitment, kind of. It's not like, it's like everything, repetition and consistency. Like when we do, when we try to teach any new skills, we just say, oh, you need to do it more than one time. When you teach sign language, right? You wanted to, for the child be attentive and watch and engage, and so imitate after many repetitions. So the same is for another language you wanted to learn. So yeah.
And so is there a right way to do it, or how do we decide what language to speak? So if it's a dual language household, when should we speak one language, when should we speak the other?
Well, I think, it's like a more decision, like for everything, mom and dad has to be on the same page.
Right.
If you're going to teach your child, any routine, when the child is going to sleep. Oh, I wanted to go to sleep at 8 p.m. No, I wanted to go to sleep at 7. Okay, so let's go get in the middle. Okay, it's the same with the language.
7:30.
Yeah, 7:30. It's the same. To me, it's the same for the language. So the benefit to be able to speak dual language is that, like I mentioned before, is mom speaks Spanish and dad speaks English. That is the way how they're gonna communicate, mother and son. And then the brain, like I said, is so flexible and eager. It's like a sponge to get all that information. And besides that, remember, we're working with little ones that their phonic or articulatory system is not developed completely, so they can adjust and be more flexible to produce different sounds that they're different in Spanish, they're different in English, and the brain, it will work, identify where to go. Oh, I need to respond this way. So the difference is when you are an adult. That's my experience. I came when I was grown up, an adult, over 30 years old, and so, and I've been here for over 20. So make the math. I was very adult. So for me, it was hard to pronunciate a lot of sounds and do the correct pronunciation. And probably you can hear me. I have a strong accent, so I can't correct that. I try to be clear I hope everybody can understand what I'm talking about, but I think for a child, just talking about the little ones, is easier, and they don't have that problem, So yeah, it's just a decision. Like I said, it's something that agree, mom and dad, and then the family. There's a lot of grandparents around, living or close by, and they don't speak English. So yeah, give them, the opportunity, the baby, to learn that Spanish so they can communicate with grandparents, so they can be participant of everything. So yeah.
I like how you said that, to have a reason, to know why
Yeah,
you're doing it,
Yeah.
and then be committed
Exactly.
and consistent and regular in
Yeah.
using those languages.
Yeah, the reason is just, I wanted for my child to communicate with everybody, with my family, and also think about, later on, knowing multiple languages, whatever the language is. I'm talking about Spanish, but there's many other languages. Gives you more opportunities to get a job when you're an adult. So, and yeah. And actually, I'm going to add one more thing,
Okay.
Ms. Karen, that I was reading that when your brain is able to learn more languages, you're less, I will say, when you're mature or older, you're gonna slower that Alzheimer piece of you get Alzheimer. Well, for the people who is able to learn more than one language, it's going to slower. So that is another benefit for the brain.
Yeah.
See? Brain is working back.
Well, and we do talk a lot about the brain and just
Yeah.
how the science behind the neuroscience is just incredible. So I'm going to actually share, just yesterday even, I heard something on NPR on this show called Soundside. It was an interview with, I'm going to look, Dr. Chantel Pratt, and she's a professor of psychology, neuroscience, and linguistics at the UW. And she wrote a book called The Neuroscience of You, How Every Brain is Different and How to Understand Yours. And it just came out, and we've been talking about this. I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. And she explained that when a newborn is born, so a newborn can discriminate all the potential speech sounds that are present in all languages. The newborn isn't good at it because there's so much in the sensory system of developing, but they have the ability. And so as the baby grows and is immersed in these languages, then their body's ready to take it in. And then the more that they hear it, then they fine tune and they're able to discriminate. This is an important piece that I need to keep. So this is the language I need to know. And then the brain starts dropping maybe what they don't need to learn. Exactly. And so I was like, that's really cool, that when they get the languages in their home environment, the brain starts connecting the dots and start the languages, and they can jump to this language and that language. And then it can separate the things it doesn't need. And that is the reason when we're adults, we separated everything. It's hard to pull them back up. So when they're a baby and they can take it in, all the better, a lot nicer. So easier. So wow.
That's like you're telling this, and it's proof that our experience where the child is being in homes where there are 3 languages, right? And I'm working with this baby. Mom is from Guatemala and speak a dialect. Dad speak a little bit more, some Spanish and some English. And then here comes the older brother or older sister going to school, and then start hearing English. So it's a mix of 3 different languages that this child is hearing, and then he's able to discriminate and respond appropriately to what is asked him to do. So yeah, you can see it, and I personally saw this. So I've been working with those families, and so yeah, my experience is very positive with this.
Yeah. I have like 4 or 5 questions here, and I think we've kind of
Mix it
covered.
up.
Well,
Yeah.
and because, I think there's just, for children, birth to 3 and new families, it really is a concern, like,
Yeah.
oh, should we or shouldn't we? People are telling us that we're going to, it's going to hurt and we shouldn't do it. So Holly Ridge as a whole says, go ahead and do it. I want to just, we did reach out to other therapists, and I wanted to read some of the things that they told us. We want to share their expertise. So, and also just kind of cement what we've been saying. So the whole idea, how should we do it? Should we only speak a language for one routine and then only a language for another routine? If the family decides that's what they want to do and how to use it, great. So one of our providers suggested, use one language for one routine and another for another routine, and then rotate it. So all routines are done in both languages. So that was her, and it's evidence-based practice. And that's a practice that is used by her relatives. And so she's also part of that. And that's in a household where English and Russian is spoken. So also children at this age have a tremendous capacity for learning. And sometimes it makes it easier if a child can go back and forth between languages. So don't worry about it if it's first Spanish and then English. And, that's great, especially for a little one that, they're learning it. They're taking it all in. That's a good sign. It's not, oh no, they're going to confuse. Typically, I mean, we did, say every kid's different. So you might experience something different, but for the most part, those are all really exciting, really positive things. If they can't pull a word out in English, they might be able to pull it out in Spanish or sign language or another language spoken in the home, and all of those count, right? So, boy. The whole idea of, will they talk if they use 2 languages? Will my child talk later? And from our coworkers, they said 2 languages is fine for a typically developing child. Many countries are bilingual. They might have a silent period, and that is typical. But if they're hearing language consistently, and if it's used, then they start understanding it both the same, but they might use it. One of those languages might come sooner than the other, and that's okay. And often the pronunciation in English, might be simpler, especially in the culture that's surrounding us here. So that you might hear English come out first before the other language, but it's just a process, right? Boy, I have a lot of notes, but I am really excited to move on. Really, and we can come back to questions if we have time. But I'm feeling like we might need to have a Facebook Live number 2 or something with. But we wanted. Is that okay with you? Is there anything you want to?
I think I don't know. I think like you said, we kind of summarize a lot of things and while we were talking. So I think, whatever you decide, unless we need to do something different.
Well, and I was just going to go to this last one.
Okay.
Because I know this is by one of our providers who speaks Spanish as her first language, and she's also a provider. So she says, in the places I worked with children 6 weeks to pre-K, with parents from different parts of the world, and with our military culture around here,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of languages.
Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, here you're more likely gonna find different cultures, different languages. Yeah, yeah.
And I let parents know that children are amazing and their young minds are quick at absorbing everything they're learning. If they're
Mhm.
consistent with their first language at home, they will not lose that when at the same time they're taking on a second language at school and being able to understand it too. On the side, I also share with them personal experience, let them know that I speak more than one language, and I grew up the same way. And she says, I don't understand how I can speak both languages. It amazes me still now, kind of like it's that brain thing. I can't even understand how that worked for me. But what that tells me, and just even spending time earlier this week with you, I've known you for a long time. I know so much more just from you sharing your story. So I think that's really important, is listen to stories and ask others, about learning language and what their experience is. And not only do you get to know people better and learn culture, but then that also can help support each other. Oh, I do see that somebody asked what the name of the book that I was saying. So it's called The Neuroscience of You, and it's by Dr. Chantel Pratt. Chantel Pratt. So maybe that will show up in the chat. What Susana and I would like to do is everything that we're going to share, we'd like to put it in some kind of document or make our resources available to you.
And we can put it in a learning page. It's
Yeah,
gonna be there.
We'll definitely
So,
put it in our
yeah.
at-home learning page, and then maybe if we can get it on Facebook here. But we did want to just demonstrate some activities, like how do I incorporate two languages in the home? And so 0 to 3, that's what we do. And play is learning. And so your movement for a 0 to 3-year-old is learning, and repetition and practice is the key. I feel like I've talked a lot, Susana.
Well, I did too.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right.
Yes. So
So,
what we do, like how we play, what we use the same thing. We use books, right? And we have.
show us that one.
This book is one of our favorite to teach some colors. So it has the slide pictures where it's one in English and one in Spanish, and then it's supported with the colors. So you have the cue for the child who's looking at this book, and then you go. It's the same for. The second color is the red, and it says rojo, and there's what is there is a fire truck. So they has different colors. This is one of the really, really good one is the Eric Carr book.
And one thing I like about books is the ones, for me, that have both the English and Spanish in it. So if I'm an English speaker and I have someone in my home that's Spanish and I'm learning it, I can open the book and there's the words. And I heard her read it to my toddler last night. So I could, the reminder, I couldn't tell you that blue is azul out in front of the building, but if I read it, I can remember and I can say it.
So when you have the cue and here you have the letters that form the word, and then the color.
Yeah.
So
and the flap. I mean, So as educators, we kind of think of everything at the same time. It's, fine motor skills. All right, we can do the flap.
Exactly.
Learn about animals. We can, it does. There's
so
books
many,
that have other things.
There's so many things that we can show in one book. Showing animals, sounds, colors, shapes, whatever. Yeah.
And just like when you're making a puzzle, say the name in both. So, here's a lion. And so you say, if you're working with your child and you're saying, let's find the lion, and then you can say it in Spanish.
Yeah, and then we can say, encuentra el león. And we have, can you show Miss Karen? We have every piece of the puzzle, we write and behind the word in Spanish. So it be just, also.
So
Yeah.
I do have families that the spouse is learning at the same time. So when, they can have the name of the other language for the same animal just as a prompt. So there's a little tip if that works. Yeah. What else? Oh, hey, you want to make a potato head?
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite.
Oh, I'm backwards. Okay. So
potato head.
Potato head.
So it's el señor papa en español.
Okay. El señor papa.
Yeah,
Okay.
potato papa.
All right, you pick first. What are we putting in?
Oh, vamos a poner los zapatos.
Oh, shoes. Okay, I got shoes.
Los míos son verdes. Mis zapatos son verdes. What color are yours?
Green. Okay.
Green. Oh.
I have blue shoes.
Oh, azules. Zapatos azules. Miss Karen is putting up zapatos
Blue
azules.
shoes.
Ah.
Okay, I get to pick now.
Okay.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes.
Ojos.
Eyes.
Encontremos los ojos. ¿Dónde están los ojos?
Stick it in. Eyes.
Ay, los ojos.
All right.
There's
Nice.
So now we can see. Podemos ver. Podemos ver.
Nose. The only reason I knew that was because mine looks like yours. Nariz. Nariz. Okay.
Nariz. ¿A dónde va la nariz? Debajo de los ojos.
Nose.
Or
nariz.
Nariz.
Nariz. No.
¿Qué más, Miss Karen? ¿Boca?
Okay.
La boca. ¿Y cómo usamos la boca? Para comer, para decir, ¡mua! I love you, besitos.
What if I mess with you?
Oh, you have the tongue.
How do you say tongue in Spanish?
Lengua.
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 Yep.
Okay. All right.
Lengua.
Ears.
Orejas. Tenemos dos.
Ears.
Orejas. Tenemos dos. Uno y dos.
Two.
And we're practicing numbers here too, because we have two. 1, 2. Dos orejas. Uno y dos.
And in the session that we do, that's a virtual session, we don't worry about interpreting for each other. Sometimes maybe, but most of all, we're just sharing an experience and using words. And every once in a while, you might say something different about the ear, and I'll never know because I don't know Spanish. But the important things, like we decide ahead of time, we want to definitely know the body parts. But, if Susana wants to highlight something else and I don't say it in English, it's okay. And I would think that's the same when you play.
Yeah, it's the same. And then we have dos brazos y manos, which is very important because we play with our hands. Jugamos con las manos y hacemos todo con las manos.
Las manos.
Yeah.
Las manos, hands. So what's arms?
Brazos.
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 Oh, I almost got my R in there. I can do it once. I can do it. Okay, and manos. So,
yeah. ¿Qué más falta? What else? Oh, I have a hat. Something on the head because it's potato head. Es el señor Papa con su sombrero.
Mr. Potato Head.
There. Yo tengo un sombrero verde.
We both have green hats.
Green hat.
Sombrero verde.
Yeah. Muy bien.
Thank you. All right, nice.
Yeah.
So, did you have another book you wanted to show?
Yes, we were been using this book, Buenos Dias, good morning, and Buenas noches, good night, because it's so simple. I don't know, you can see it. Let me, there. buenos días, buenas noches. Yeah, because it shows simple things, and we kind of, we see the moon, la luna, it has the slide, so they open the eyes. So we practice shapes, we practice eyes with one page. So we can use for different, learnings. And then here we have las estrellas, the star, and we can sing Twinkle Twinkle, right?
Yeah. So just thinking about how to incorporate, we have a puzzle that has stars. We have a stuffed animal that has stars. There's the book. Let's sing about stars, everything. And then the stars fall asleep, right?
Yeah, the star fall asleep because they have eyes too. It's kind of, there it is.
They stick sometimes. And you have your good night that's in both languages, but I stole your Buenos Dias. So the author here, I'm not, I can maybe put it up there, but I'm not going to spell it out loud or, say it. But,
Merrick Sel Marti and Javier Salomo.
Yeah. But what I loved was Susana has her book in Spanish. And then I was able to get my versions that have both Spanish and English. So that was important to me because I need them both. But so I like to find books that are like that. So, and then I know we had a couple of slides to show you some of our favorite songs. No, that's a website or
no, those are our songs that we use through the link.
So that one, so that one was that was the right one. It was The Wheels on the Bus.
Yes,
which in Spanish is
Las Ruedas del Autobús.
And that's the YouTube. Goes straight right to that one in Spanish, but we wanted just to highlight super simple songs as a YouTube
website,
or
whatever it's called.
Station. We have a channel. But super simple songs makes really good 0 to 3-year-old.
Simple, muy simples.
Has good pace and rhythm. And what we like about this is we can do it in English, and then they have the exact same graphics, and it's also in Spanish, so that it's very easy to compare. So we like that. Next. You like this one.
Which one?
Los colores.
Los colores, the colors. So the same thing here. You have the visual, and the names are in English and in Spanish. They were singing. It's a song. So that is the other thing. Songs are so helpful and fun to learn. So everybody likes to sing, and you can make your own songs. Even.
And a feature of this one is it has a common tune, the Frere Jacques tune, and so los colores, red is rojo,
blue is azul, blue is azul.
All right, and then one more, and I'm going to let you take this one away here.
Me encanta. This is one of my favorite because it's so simple. It's very dynamic and fun, and it talks, mi cuerpo hace música, my body makes music. So this is a really short, sweet song that shows lips, hands. So the hands can clap, so that is music. The lips can do that, so it's music. Also we can do besitos, kisses. What else is this? I can't remember.
The tongue.
The tongue is So,
Right. Yeah.
right? But it's very, very, very sweet and fun.
Yeah.
So you will like that. You will enjoy that song.
Well, and especially I can just see families sitting around being silly together.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
lots of movement.
They love the kids. They laugh when they the tongue. Blah, 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 blah. So let's just go do that. So you can practice different. Click the tongue or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are fun songs.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're still here, I think. All right. So definitely just backing up here to see a bunch of our other titles that we have. And again, we would like to be able to provide a resource with some of these for you. We are starting to collect some books that have Native American art. I would love to find somebody who can help us with some language there. And so we would like to share more, but we have a video that we're going to share, but we have this one called Animals of the Salish Sea that focused on animals and written by the Native Northwest group, and they've done their indigenous art, and then they real sweet talking about kind of the personalities and the beings behind these creatures. And so we have a reading of this on our July 2022 website, and then also Susana and I did and Miss Lizzie, Miss Awesome Lizzie, who's our teacher of the deaf and hearing impaired.
We read and we translate some of the animals that you were reading the book, and we were showing the picture, and so you say the name in English. I was saying in Spanish, and Liz was signing the
sign language.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I just froze because I knew I'd said that wrong. She's the teacher of
hard of hearing,
the deaf and hard of hearing. So, all right, I'm trying to be done because we want to run the video of how we would do this book, because it's very very timely for
Halloween on October.
We love it because it has body parts and colors, and a chance to talk about feelings and being scared and owning your feelings and telling the monster to go away. So we're going to run that, and then we're going to say goodbye at the end. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Miss Karen, and I'm here with my friend, Miss Susana. We are going to read the book, Go Away, Big Green Monster, in English and in Spanish.
Vamos a leer el libro Fuera de aquí, Monstruo Verde, en inglés y en español.
So before, we're going to talk about some colors and some body parts on our face.
Primero vamos a hablar acerca de colores y las partes de nuestra cara.
Here are two yellow eyes.
Dos ojos grandes y amarillos. Ojos grandes y amarillos.
Big yellow eyes. Oh, and now he has a bluish greenish nose.
Tiene una nariz larga, verde azulada.
He has a big red mouth.
Una boca grande y roja.
And don't forget, sharp white teeth.
No te olvides, tiene dientes blancos y muy filudos.
Two squiggly ears.
Oh, dos orejitas muy deformadas, no son bien formadas. 2 orejas, 1, 2.
Ooh, he's got some hair. Purple, scraggly hair.
Y tiene un poco de pelo, un poquito, pero es un pelo morado, morado. Y es así bien ralo, no mucho pelo, 3 o 4 pelitos.
Oh, and he's got a green face.
Y tiene una cara redonda verde, verde, una cara verde.
Okay, now you know the body parts that's going to make our big green monster.
Tú ahora sabes qué partes vamos a nombrar en este libro del monstruo verde, las partes de la cara.
You think of monsters, you think that they're scary. And sometimes I get worried and give some fear because I am thinking about a monster. People even say maybe there's a monster under my bed. That's not true. But we can sometimes get scared and we can learn to tell our monsters to go away.
A veces tenemos miedo y nos asustamos de monstruos, que a veces dicen que hay un monstruo debajo de mi cama, pero no es para asustarse, porque eso no es verdad. No hay monstruos en tu cama, no hay monstruos debajo de tu cama, pero hoy aprenderemos a decir, fuera de aquí, monstruo verde, fuera, fuera, no te quiero aquí.
Maybe I hear a noise that I don't know what it is, and I think, oh, it must be a monster. But that's just me being scared when I don't have to be.
Ya, no hay que asustarse. A veces escuchamos ruidos y, oh, a lo mejor es el monstruo, pero no es verdad. No hay que asustarse. Estamos en casa, a salvo con nuestros papás.
Okay, so let's look at the book and we're going to learn to say, go away, big green monster by Ed Emberley.
Vamos a leer, fuera de aquí, monstruo verde, fuera, fuera de aquí.
The big green monster has 2 big yellow eyes.
Este monstruo verde tiene 2 ojos grandes amarillos
And a long, bluish, greenish nose.
y una nariz larga, verde azulada.
A big red mouth with sharp bright teeth.
Una boca grande y roja con dientes blancos y filudos.
2 little squiggly ears.
2 orejitas deformadas. Deformadas.
Scraggly purple hair.
Y unos pelos raros en la cabeza que son morados. Pelos morados.
And a big, scary green face.
Y una cara grande y verde.
But we'll tell him, you don't scare me, so go away, scraggly purple hair.
Pero no me asustas. Le vamos a decir, fuera de aquí, pelo morado, ralo.
There it goes. Go away, two little squiggly ears.
Fuera de aquí, dos orejas deformaditas, deformes.
Gonna go away.
Fuera.
Go away, bluish, greenish nose.
Fuera de aquí, no, nariz larga, verde azulada.
Go away. Go away, big green face.
Vete de aquí, fuera de aquí, cara grande y verde.
Here it goes. Go away, big red mouth.
Fuera de aquí, boca grande roja. Fuera de aquí.
Go away, sharp white teeth.
Fuera de aquí, dientes blancos filudos. Fuera de aquí, fuera.
Go away, two big yellow eyes.
Fuera de aquí, esos dos ojos amarillos. Fuera, fuera.
Go away, big green monster. Go away.
Fuera de aquí, big green monster. Verde monstruo. Fuera de aquí, monstruo verde.
And don't come back until I say so.
Y no vuelvas hasta que yo te diga, no vuelvas. Fuera de aquí, monstruo verde. Fuera de aquí. Y no vuelvas.
And my monster went away. He's gone.
Ya, este monstruo se fue. Se fue. Está fuera de aquí. No lo veo. Desapareció.
Do you remember the monster?
Ya.
Color was his nose?
¿Te acuerdas qué color era la nariz?
What color was it? I can see it on the cover.
Ah, yo creo que era verde azulada. Larga y verde azulada. ¿Verdad?
Bluish greenish.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, with those two yellow eyes.
Los ojos eran amarillos. Big y grandes ojos amarillos. Y la nariz larga, verde azulada.
Did you have a part of the book that you liked, Miss Susana?
Ah, me gusta la parte del pelo. Tiene un pelo divertido. 4 pelos. 4 pelos en la cabeza. Y son morados. Ja, pelo morado.
Purple hair? Scraggly purple hair. Yeah, I can tell. I can see why you like that. Oh,
Es diferente.
yeah.
Ya, es diferente.
Well, it's time for us to go. So we hope you liked reading our book and you can remember some of those words in English and in Spanish.
Ya. Es tiempo de terminar. Esperamos que puedas acordarte de esas palabras en inglés y español cuando escuches nuestro libro. Que esté muy bien. Adiós, amigos.
Bye-bye. Adios.
Bye, Miss Karen.
Bye, Susana.
Well, it's kind of weird. But
Yeah, I
I
hope
like-
it didn't seem so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to access that or look at that, Go Away Big Green Monster is coming out next week in October. And there will be an activity page, both in English and in Spanish, and some cutouts so you can make your own big green monster. So have fun with that. Have a good Halloween, and we are out of here. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having us. I hope you enjoy our time with you, and we're so thankful that we can stay with you today. Okay.
Yeah. And if you come back, we're going to try to post some resources, but it'll be on the at-home learning page at least, probably maybe in November.
Yeah.
We might be too late to get it next week, but we'll get it out there. So, all right. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Adios.